Welcome to a video on identifying the values of the variables and solving with the TVM solver. In this video, we're going to look at a loan problem where we're asked to find the present value or initial loan amount. Let's get started. The TVM solver or time value money solver is an application that allows you to quickly solve compound interest problems, including annuities and loans, without using the formulas. In the video description, you'll find a link to a free time value money solver application. I also included a link to an introductory video where I go over the TVM solver in greater detail. So if this is your first time learning how to use the TVM solver, you might want to check out that video first. A quick note before we get started. When you use the TVM solver, unlike the formulas, you need to pay attention to the cash flow direction. Cash outflow, which is money you're paying out of your pocket, are considered negative. Cash inflows, which is money coming into your pocket, are considered positive values. Deposits and loan payments are negative because they represent an amount you must pay out every month. Let's take a look at our problem statement. This problem says if Layla can afford a $110 annual loan payment, what is the largest loan she can take if the 7-year loan will earn 3.2% interest compounded annually? Once we see that interest is compounded, we know we can use the TVM solver. It really doesn't matter if you're doing compound interest, an annuity problem, or, as in this case, a loan. On the right-hand side, you'll see that I've listed all the variables from the TVM solver. Let's go through and identify the values for each of these variables, then we'll use the TVM solver to solve this problem. The first variable that we need to find is lowercase n. This is the number of times interest is compounded in 1 year. Toward the bottom of this problem, we see that interest is compounded annually. That means that it's compounded once per year, so n is 1. Now let's find t, which is the time in years. This problem is asking us for the largest size loan she can take out if the 7-year loan, this tells us that the life of the loan is going to be 7 years, so t is 7. Now let's find capital N. So capital N will be the first number that we type into the TVM solver. This is the total number of payments or compounding periods, and you find this by multiplying little n times t. So n is going to be 1 times 7, which in this case is just 7. Now let's find I, the annual interest rate. Remember, we need to enter I as a percent, not as a decimal. That's another difference from when we use the formulas. So it says that this loan will earn 3.2% interest, so I is going to be equal to 3.2. The present value or principal is the initial loan amount. Now for this problem, if we go back to the start, it says if Layla can afford a $110 annual loan payment, what is the largest size loan she can take? So we're actually looking for the present value. So PV, which is the initial loan amount, is our unknown. Now let's find PMT, which is the payment amount. It says that Layla can afford a $110 annual loan payment. Since the payment is a cash amount, we need to think about the direction of the cash flow. This is a cash outflow. This is a payment that Layla is paying every year. So PMT in this case will be negative 110. Now let's find the future value, FV. When you're doing loans, the future value in this case is going to be 0 because she will have paid the loan off at the end of it. So FV, or future value, is going to be 0. Note that the future value is not explicitly stated here. It doesn't say that she's going to pay the entire loan off, but it's okay to assume that she's paying the entire loan off by the end of its lifespan unless it is stated otherwise. Now let's find PY and CY. These are the number of payment periods or compounding periods per year. These are always going to be the same value. So the number of payment periods or compounding periods is going to be 1 in this case because it says that she's making an annual payment and interest is compounded annually. So both PY and CY are 1. Now let's go over to our TVM solver, plug in these values, and solve this problem. Here's the TVM solver that I have linked in the video description. Let's go ahead and type in our values. So for capital N, the number of compounding periods, we found that that was 7. We found I to be 3.2. PV, the present value or initial loan amount, that is our unknown variable. That's what we're trying to solve for. So we'll come back to that one. PMT was negative 110. The future value was 0. She's going to pay the loan off at the end of its life. And PY and CY, the payments per year and compounding periods per year, that's 1. So when I change this to 1, you'll notice that it also changes the other value to 1 as well. So those should always be the same. Now, since we're trying to find the present value or PV, let's go back up to the line that says PV and click Solve. It looks like we get $680.19. This means that Layla can afford to take out a loan of $600.19. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.